welcome to Bit One Finale 2026. Can I get a woo woo woo? I don't have the remote control. It's amazing to see so many people here. And we have 8 amazing teams today competing. They will soon start pitching, and all of you are gonna be able to test each game, which is amazing. So I guess I will go to the practicalities and schedule if my remote works. Suvi, my remote doesn't work. Yes, great. So, well, actually, let's start with practicalities. We have catering, as you probably saw, and ate and drank, which is great. Also, if you need to use bathroom, they are through those glass doors, right on the left, right in front of them. Before you go through the glass doors, please note that there is a toilet code for those doors because they are locked. I don't know why. Yeah, we have pretty tight schedule today, so let's try to keep that. Yes, we have 8 teams. Here is the pitching order. We have first Tervamaja, then Brain Digitalized, then Pseudoflame, Finbar Road Games, Team RoboGrid, Lumina, Unknown Operations, and Dappal. Actually, can I get like... Great. So today is pretty simple. This is pretty simple event. First, we will have the pitching time. We will show each team's core loop first. It's 1 minute. And after that, the team will come here and start pitching. The pitch is 3 minutes, so please stay on that. And for that, I have 2 papers. When team is here on stage, I will time your pitch. When you have 1 minute left, I will raise this 1 minute left paper in the air. I will be sitting in the front row right there, so you'll see me. When your time is up, I will raise this pink, very scary, time is up paper. So then you know your time is up and the 3 minutes is gone. So wrap up your thought and finish your pitch as soon as you can. So we don't go over time and we don't have to catch you off because that's not nice. So yeah, after the pitch, the jury, we have amazing jury here. They will ask questions, and of course, audience is also free to ask questions if you want. And then next team will start again pitching, and all 8 teams will come here, and etc. etc. Then we have playtesting time, which is the amazing part of this event. All of you are able to test each games, and the jury will of course test each games. So please be mindful of the jury when they are going around here, because they have very tight schedule to follow to be able to test each game. So yes, if you see a jury member is coming towards your table, then just go away and let them play first. You will have plenty of time to play these games. And then when the jury will go evaluate, there's no boring moment in this event because we have amazing Michael Hudson giving us very inspirational talk today, which is called Adapt, Improvise and Overcome. So no boring moment. And then when the jury is ready, hopefully 15 past, we will announce who is the winner of Bit1 2026. Also, one thing, when you test the games, in each team's game station, there is a QR code that says give feedback to the team and so on. You can scan that and actually fill out a form to give them feedback. That's very valuable to teams, so please remember to do so. Also, this year we have Audience Choice Award, which is actually just prize and like glory and pride. So yes, but you can see those QR codes here. Vote for your favorite game, where you can vote for your favorite game. And we will have an Audience Choice Award. Great. Yeah, actually, I think now I would love to have the jury here to maybe introduce you a little bit if you want. Well, that wasn't part of this event. Let's forget that. Yeah. Can I get an applause again?
Hello. My name is Salla Hiiskoski. I've been working in the game industry for about 12-ish years, always on art roles, always on mobile. And I currently work at Metacore. It's a mobile game company here in Helsinki as one of the art leads. And my focus is mostly on visual development. So I care a lot about like making players care about certain things through visual choices. I also work a lot with marketing and with like data people to get insights of like what resonates and what doesn't, and that's kind of my lens for evaluating your work today. Nice to meet you.
Hello everyone, my name is Martin Verbacher. I founded a little game company here in Finland last year, Martin Games, and I've been in the industry for a little over 5 years, and I've basically wore pretty much every single hat. My biggest specialization, except for making games, would be generally like Steam. So, you know, the Steam page, how to get most out of it, also the Steam backend. And I'm a big fan and also user of the Godot engine. And I think generally I'll be just judging the games on overall everything from the gameplay to how well it could do. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yes, hello, my name is Jaakko Kemppainen, and I'm currently teaching game design at Aalto University. I have been around games industry for about 24 years, doing a lot of like programming and mostly game design. So maybe my lens for this thing is kind of game design-ish, but I think I understand something about business and coding and a little bit of visuals also. So yeah, that's about it.
Great. Thank you, jury. One more thing before we start. We do have an online stream here, which we will also record. So the camera is right there. Hi, people in Zoom. So please, when you are coming here to pitch, try to stand around here. So what happened? Okay, so you can, so you'll be seen on this Zoom, which is great. So yeah, this is the 9th time Bit1 has ever been organized, which is pretty cool. Next year, Big 10. Let's see what will come up. I think, Suvi, do you have anything to add? And have fun. Yes, and we do have a remote control here. There's forward and backward, so it's very easy to use. So you can change the slides with this. So I guess for a further ado, we will start with our first. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Yes. So first we have Tervamaja with their game Gradient, and first we will show your game core loop video.
The wealthy elite have stolen all the color from the province and are keeping it at the center, hidden away from other citizens. You inherit a family heirloom that grants you the ability to sense and manipulate the lost color. Embark on a journey to return the color to the people. Hello everyone, my name is Valtteri, we are Tervomaja, and we are here to present our story-driven Metroidvania, Gradient. Gradient is set in an atmospheric 2D pixel art world. It tells a story of oppression and hope, presented visually as well as through various dialogues with NPCs. Your purpose is to rebel against the powers that be by collecting fragments of color and returning them to the world. On your journey of returning color to the world, you travel episodically, meeting unique characters and groups and learning about how the people are dealing with their struggles and coping under constant oppression from the ruling class. For example, you will encounter a cult that have decided to wear blindfolds to cope with the lack of color. Our combat system is based on a color system. The primary colors make up the basic set of 3 abilities. The blue one is a dash to keep your momentum high. The red one is a quick attack to strike enemies. And the yellow one is a ranged attack to hit the environment and foes from afar. As you progress through the game, you unlock the ability to combine these colors into new attacks and movement utilities. Interacting with the environment will be necessary to complete puzzles and platforming challenges in Gradient. The episodes will contain secret areas, which may not all be accessible during your first visit, so you may want to return after getting the necessary tool. We are developing Gradient for both mechanical and story-oriented players by providing a highly polished, mechanically tight, short narrative experience that allows for all types of players to get a meaningful experience out of Gradient. The Metroidvania market is extremely top-heavy. The top 20 games take up over half the market value. So we will focus on developing a unique story-driven Metroidvania experience that stands out. Our plans. This summer, we are releasing a prototype on itch.io with plans for a Steam demo in 2027. We will start building our community on Discord and YouTube and planning for a full release on Steam in 2028. Thank you.
You can stay here. Yes, the jury can now ask questions. And actually, what are we going to ask?
I can. How long is the game?
Where the full product would be around maybe 3 to 6 hours.
Is it like replayable?
Well, yeah. It's like a linear story, so you can replay it again. It will be the same experience, but you will definitely find something you didn't find the first time you played it.
I'm interested in the market size. You say it's like 1.5 billion. It's like, what is included and how do you base that market size?
Well, like I said, it's like a few games at the top. Like Hollow Knight is absolutely dominating the Metroidvania market. Our market analysis was provided to us from outside, so I haven't done that much market research, but yeah, it's a few titles taking up most of the value.
So if I'm colorblind, do I get to play your game? Have you considered some kind of colorblind support, or is that a no-no?
Yeah, definitely. We have made symbols for that, and definitely thought about how it would be accessible for colorblind people.
Okay.
It's not yet implemented, but yeah.
I'm also interested a bit more in the market research side. I know you said someone else did it, but have you looked or considered the combination of Metroidvania, which is generally more gameplay style based genre, with what I heard mostly from you is the narrative focus of your game. So yeah, is that something you considered? Have you talked about it?
Well, we have considered it, as in we know that narrative-heavy Metroidvanias are not the norm, but that's exactly, I mean, that's the game we want to make, so that's our consideration.
Okay, thank you.
Does anyone in the audience have any questions you would like to ask? No? Then I guess we are gonna give a big hand to team Tervamaja. Thank you.
Thank you.
Actually, can you? Great. The next team will be Brain Digitalized with their game Neon Dash. I will first show your core loop video and then your 3-minute pitch starts.
Okay, hi everyone, and my name is Paul, and my game is a vertical climber. Oh, sorry. Yeah, my game is a vertical climber, and so in this game you jump and shoot at the same time. Of course, there are also left and right buttons. So I tried really hard to make the game control as simple as possible, because personally I don't enjoy learning how to play a game. So I want people to get my game in about 3 seconds, which is pretty much the attention span we have in this age of TikTok. And if any feature confused people, I kill it. And I have this very simple rule. If it's not fun as a triangle, then it's not fun. And so in the beginning, I really started with just a triangle, and I kept tuning it until it felt good to just jump with just that. And because nothing's more important to me than the game feel. And to make that happen, there are many invisible tricks under the surface, like this coyote time, that the tiny moment that you can still jump even if you are supposed to fall. So it's basically the game is lying to you, but in a good way. And when that triangle felt good enough, I built more things on top of that. Like here there are 5 zones with different vibes. And all of this is 100% procedurally generated. I didn't use any art assets. Everything is generated at runtime with math. And at first, I just wanted to challenge myself and see how far I could go with just code alone, until I realized this actually has advantages. For example, you can, I could test new visual styles really fast. And when you die, the game roasts you. It tracks how you die, and it will make fun of you specifically according to that. And the idea is that to turn this moment of the moment of frustration into something which is so funny, you actually want to screenshot it and share it. Which brings me to forget about that AI generated title. I was too busy coding to make a better one, but the idea is very simple. The player frustration is, player frustration becomes free advertising. So it's designed especially for streamers who make those dramatic range videos. And this basically means that the moment when you were doing so well, then you suddenly you died, and you were like, oh no, that I was so close. And the game offers you the option of the revive just at that emotional moment. So on the surface, it's just a fast arcade game, but there is also this secret layer that you get hints here and there that you're actually you're actually playing inside the mind of AI, but that's subtle. That is only for people who are interested. Yeah.
All right. Hello. Thank you for your presentation. I'm interested in, do you have any kind of like meta level progress in the game so the player can open some stuff or improve, I don't know, whatever there is between the runs?
You mean upgrade or?
Yeah. Some kind of upgrades or something else between the runs.
During the game, I don't want to interrupt this flow state. So only when you die, then you can, of course, when the game begins, you can go to the shop. When you really die, you can also go to the shop to buy like air jump or some kind of jetpack or this revive. But during the game, I try not to pause the game, and I want people to stay in that flow state. But of course, there is a possibility when you really die, then you could buy something in there. Yes. When you test it, you can see. Yes.
I'm curious about the different zones in the game. You mentioned that there's 5 different zones in there. How are they different gameplay wise?
Sorry.
Are they different gameplay wise? The different zones?
No, they are just kind of different background, and I changed the background and also how the player itself looks. The visual and also the hazards, and there are different hazards according to which zone you're in. So just to keep the game fresh, there's something for you to want to still explore.
Yep.
But that's just the examples. There are actually other zones which I didn't show. Yes.
So one thing I'm interested about is I've seen some statements about the flow and everything, and I'm curious, how much playtesting have you done? Have you confirmed that the flow state actually works the way you show in the presentation, or how much playtesting have you done?
You mean how other people feel about it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I did, and they felt it was quite easy to get to start, but it's not that easy to master because when there are so many hazards, that's something I need to still work on because sometimes it feels a little too much, but that's, in my opinion, is quite easy to adjust. But I developed this in only about 2 months, so I didn't have so much time to ask too many people to test, but I did ask. Yes.
Okay. And one thing also, how do I unlock the next stages?
You mean what is my?
Yeah, so I start in the stage 1, let's say, and how do I unlock the second stage? Do I have to make it far enough in stage 1, or?
Oh, you mean like to move to the different zones?
Yes.
Yeah, basically in the first zone is just for people to get used to it, like tutorials. But that only takes maybe half a minute. So then when you go to there's a big platform, you jump into that. It's like so you will wear different equipment, like you become a ninja or a cowboy. So every zone is about only less than 1 minute if you go fast enough.
Okay.
So there's no barrier for that.
Okay, and do I have to finish the zone to unlock the next zone?
Yes, you have
Okay.
to, because it's a vertical, and so the higher you jump, when you go higher enough, then you go to the next zone, basically.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I may have missed the information in the slides, but what are the platforms you are planning to release the game for?
Right now it's on PC, but I think it's maybe more suitable for mobile. But I thought it might be weird to show this on the phone, so now I only put it on PC.
Yeah, so currently on PC.
Yes, currently.
All right.
And I thought maybe it's actually better because when nowadays because this game is designed especially for the streamers to make those range reaction videos, and I think when it's on PC, maybe it's easier for them to stream it. But if it's on the phone, maybe it's not so suitable. So yeah, but the gameplay itself, maybe I think it's better for mobile. Yeah.
Thank you, jury. Does any audience member have any more further questions? No? Okay, I think let's give a big hand to Team Brain Digitalized and Neon Dash. Next up, we have Team Pseudoflame with their game Amish Drift.
How close do I need to hold this? Is it, can I be heard? Yes. This is Amish Drift by Pseudoflame. What is Amish Drift? Amish Drift is a retro-styled arcade racing game where you, as your job as the driver, is to achieve the highest score on a map's racetrack. Amish Drift has been in the development for a year, and it will be released by this year. The Steam page is up, and that's the Steam page right there. Earning score. Amish Drift has a unique score-based ranking system, focusing on score instead of time. You can gain score by drifting and a time-based bonus score, along with a multiplier gained by drifting. Player actions. Drifting. Drifting happens when the player holds space. Drifting causes the car to slide, which gives score, while drifting, sharp turns and time increases the multiplier of the score gained during a drift. Turbo. Turbo happens when the player holds shift. Turbo gives a large speed boost and increases the car's max speed. Each car has a turbo meter, which drains when using turbo. Visual style. Amish Drift tries to go for an older-looking visual style where everything is pixelated by an adjustable pixel shader and a PlayStation 1 type of rendering, which causes everything to jitter when looking around. Environmental objects are 2D objects which are rotated to face the camera to emulate 3D. What makes this game unique? Mistdrift is made unique by the score being a determining factor for the player's placement. Ending up in third place by placement, you can rise up to the first place when accounting for the score gained by drifting. In this way, Mistdrift pushes the players to drift to earn their place on the podium, the leaderboard. And that's the gameplay loop. Any more questions?
Hey, so I'm gonna have actually a lot of questions, but I'm curious. Number one, so there's gonna be some kind of leaderboard system from what I understood, and that's like the kind of the point of the game to compete for high score. And I saw the Steam page. So how are you gonna prevent users from cheating on the leaderboard on Steam?
We're gonna use systems similar to the game Trackmania. In Trackmania, when you finish the race and upload it, you upload a ghost. This ghost is what drives around. It keeps track of what you've driven. So the game checks if if the ghost goes the same the track using the same time. So let's say you cheated.
Mhm.
You cheated and you go 20% faster. The ghost is not going to keep track of that cheat. So if the time you uploaded, but the ghost has a slower time or a different time, it means that you cheated. So the ghost driving system that is almost every single racing game has also works as an anti-cheat.
What if I don't cheat in the game itself, but what if I just submit a fake result to the leaderboard? Do you check for that somehow?
You need to actually, like, when you upload the result, you upload the ghost. So if you don't upload the ghost,
Okay, I understand.
you don't
Okay.
get, you can't upload it.
Okay, cool. How many wish lists do you have on Steam right now?
Well, it has been like up for like, hold on, I don't 7 days.
Okay.
So
That can tell us something.
if we
you're
haven't
not
done any
comfortable sharing,
marketing,
it's okay.
so I don't think we're waiting for this, and it's up for bit 1, the
Okay.
Steam page. So afterwards, we're gonna do marketing, and we're gonna enter an event in Oulu, Vectorama, and that's where our release is, and that's the big thing.
Okay. What about the team size? How big are you guys?
6 people.
Okay. Do you have a price range?
€6, €5.99.
Okay. And final question. So I'm not the biggest racing guy. I've of course played some games, but drifting is something that I've seen a lot of racing games. Now again, I'm obviously like student competition, everything, but I'm curious, is there something in your game why I would play it over other drifting games?
Well, when you go look into racing game and drifting games, they're usually very split. In a racing game, drifting is purely for sharp turns.
Mhm.
You can't do long turns. You start drifting, you're gonna lose all of your speed. In drifting games, it's you drift almost 90% of the time.
Mhm.
This is a combination of those two. So you need to go fast and drift. That's the thing. In this game, it's a lot easier to drift like in a racing game,
Mhm.
but it's not as easy as in a drifting game.
Have you done market? So I don't know the answer to this, but have you done market research if this combination of drifting and racing is something either of the groups are interested, or?
Well, I mean, looking at it's a bit of the older games.
Mhm.
The most people that play this type of game, they're playing through indie games because the thing is, almost every single large racing game is made by a massive studio, and they're Gran Turismo, Forza, this type of thing. They are pure racing, so it's a bit of a niche scene. So I would say that yes, people are interested, but it's not a large market.
Thank you.
Question just to clarify, and then another question after that. So, do you want the players to care more about the style points than
Yes, the style points are the most important.
Okay, the style points are the most important. How does the game, like, what kind of visual feedback do you get from doing things with style?
So I can't actually show this right now. But when you start drifting, on the left side of your screen, there's a meter that shows how well you are drifting. It has numbers from 1 to 10, and it has a visual effect. And let's say I do a really good drift. It's the best drift I've done. The meter that's on the left will get lit on fire. It has a fire animation, and during this time when I'm drifting, the music intensifies. It changes. It's way more intense than the normal music. And we will add, currently not in the game, drift visual effects of sparks and things like that. So the feedback is mostly visual and auditory.
And how are the tracks?
The
Kind
tracks
of-
themselves like made or
No, like how are they kind of built for this kind of drifting?
they
gameplay?
are long, like long turns. They're quite large. There's if we do an example, most of the it's follows this a straight section followed by a large turn, which is almost half the size of the straight section, often followed by a shorter turn. So most of the time you can go through the drift turns using almost your full speed. So you can, as I said earlier, as the drifting is more similar to sliding. So this means that you can drift through large turns almost like horizontally along the road.
No question.
One more.
Yep.
Sorry, too many questions, I know. But so if I understood correctly, early in the slides, I saw that the focus of the game is on scoring rather than racing, right?
Yeah.
But you told me that the game is a combination of racing and drifting. So in my mind, that's a bit, it like counters each other. So if you could just expand on that,
Well,
elaborate.
the thing is, so let's say you're playing multiplayer. You're driving around, you're drifting, but some other person is, they're only driving. They're not drifting at all. But because they're not drifting, they're driving slightly faster than you. So they're gonna get first place by placement, by time. They're ahead of you by time, but as you did far more effort by drifting, you drifted all over the place and did sick turns and things. You played better. So by time you were maybe a few seconds slower, but because you drifted so much, you got so many more points from that. You need to go fast and stylishly, because if it was only drifting, you just go slow. So and we want you to go fast.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, jury. Does any of the audience have questions? There is one. I can bring you a mic.
So if it's like focused on drifting, do you see like the drift score of other players while you're running? Or do you see it at the end?
You see it at the end. It's kind of it could be added, but we want to avoid visual clutter, because how would you show that? You could have an UI element for it, but it would be I fear it may bring too much visual clutter, because you have 6 people driving, and you would just need to show the scores of every single player.
Can't you see at least like how you're ranking in terms of like the drift?
Oh yeah, you can actually see your rank.
Okay.
Yeah, that's you can always see.
So you see your rank in terms of drifting and also of speed?
And it's a combined.
It's a combine. Okay. Okay.
Ciao. So for me, like the word amis reminds me of this concept of pilluralli, and I'm thinking like you should like I don't know, are there all of the tracks like racing tracks, or is there like a drift in the parking lot mode?
I would love to add that myself, but currently no. But yeah,
Take it.
yeah,
Take it. Great. I was just asking because I only saw this one stage, but
Yeah,
great.
currently you can play two stages. One is a shoreline. It's a bit on a simpler side, and then there's canyon.
Okay.
There's canyon.
All right.
It's very tall.
Oh, they usually are, I hope. I don't know. I've never been to one. Okay, yeah.
Any more questions? No? Let's give hand to Amis Rift and Team Soda Flame. Joo, mä otin se. Next up, we have Finborrowed Games with their game Blood Red Rebirth.
Hello, I am Niilo Kulo from Finborrow Games. I'm a first-year student at YAMK, a first-year BIT student at YAMK, and the solo developer of Blood Red Rebirth. Blood Red Rebirth is a action-packed 2D side-scrolling shooter. Imagine Broforce, but on the other side of the Iron Curtain. The objective of the game is simple. You run, you jump, you shoot guns, you drive cars, you throw doors at people, all to complete your goal of stealing nukes for a mysterious rogue organization. I chose pixel art for the game to pay homage to the greats of the genre. It's also faster to produce as a solo developer. The in-game soundtrack is inspired by Russian post-punk. Despite side-scrolling shooters being everywhere, from the 80s to the 2010s, the fans of the genre have been starving for new polished titles for years now. My target audience is 30 to 45-year-old men who are nostalgic for this kind of game, but as well as younger men who are looking for the next indie title to play. The price of the game will be $7.99, since it's the upper limit of the price bucket I'm aiming for. The game has 5 hours of content, so I think it's a fair price. I already have over 500 wishlists on Steam, and I'm aiming for at least 5,000 sales. So this month I will be launching my marketing campaign, and in June I will participate in Steam Next Fest. And I will launch the game in July. After launch, I'm participating in Finnish Game Week in October. Wishlist the game on Steam. There's a QR code. Thank you.
Same question as for the first one. How long is the game?
5 hours of content.
I'm formulating a question.
Hey, how long has the store page been up on Steam?
Since January, I believe.
Okay. What is the price tag?
$7.99.
Okay. I'm sorry, this is not a question, but don't release during the next fest in July. Do it after, okay?
It's in June. Next fest is in June, and I will launch it in July.
Oh, okay, sorry, my bad. Okay, good. Can you put back the slide with the marketing, please? I just want to make sure I read it correctly with the genre. Oh, sorry, that's also not a question. Okay, I'll save it for later. Okay, I think that's everything. Thank you.
I wasn't able to formulate the question. There's a certain level of playfulness in the gameplay through cars and doors. What else is there to surprise me as a player?
There are also grenades. Maybe you saw some of those as well. There are currently not in the demo like as a playable grenade. Tear gas grenades. There are also vehicles with guns on them. There are going to be tanks. There was the helicopter. So there's gonna be a lot of violence.
Yeah. But is the playfulness like intentional, that you have intentionally built in there?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, that's what I wanted to know. Thank you.
How long you have been developing this game?
Since December 24, but the development has really picked up over the last, I'd say, 9 months.
I don't think I'm gonna get invited anywhere ever again, but so out of curiosity, if you were to sell this to me, why would I play this over Broforce?
Well, Broforce is a very silly game, and it's a satire of the United States, of course, and it has the whole action movie thing. This is more Cold War conspiracy and more about the East Bloc. So Broforce on the other side of the Iron Curtain.
Mm-hmm.
It's also mechanically somewhat different. So you're going to find that it's actually inspired by other games as well.
Okay, thank you.
Does the audience have any questions? There's one.
Yeah, earlier I commented on your YouTube videos and I downloaded your game and I was testing it. It seems to me that when you pick up a gun, there were only like 3, 5 bullets in the magazine. I mean, was that on purpose or? I was expecting like in Broforce that you have infinite bullets. Or...
Yeah, at first I experimented with like a ammo system. This was for a very long time actually, like an ammo system that you have a huge pool of ammo, but you have to collect it. And one of the ways of collecting more ammo is to pick up new guns. So you kind of pick their like magazines from the guns. So you just had to keep picking up guns to get more ammo. But that was a bit confusing. A confusing system, and it didn't promote very like run and gun style gameplay. And if you run out of ammo and there were no ammo boxes and no similar guns anywhere, you just had to throw your precious gun away. So I switched to a reload system that you have infinite ammo, but you have to reload in the middle. And I found that it sped up the game a lot. It's much more fluid now.
Thank you.
There is one. There is very many questions. I think you were first, maybe a little.
Hi. Just a quick question. What made you pick up this particular genre of games for this particular target audience, and why?
Well, this particular game, it came to me in a dream. This is real. I thought it was cool. I started like this as a small hobby project. Oh well. So that ballooned a bit. The target audience, I noticed that when I was posting on social media, that I got a lot of comments from like older men. I'm 21, okay? Saying, oh, I played, this reminds me of Metal Slug. I played it in the 90s. And after doing some market research, I noticed that around the 90s and 2000s, there was lots of these kind of games. There was kind of a revival in the 2010s with Broforce and the kind of those kind of games. They were on the screen. I forgot already. But yeah, I noticed that 2020s there's basically just one, and it has the like Warhammer attached to it, which gives it already like players. So yeah, I kept producing this game because I saw that there's a niche to be filled.
And there was questions.
I'm a bit unfamiliar with this genre, but does this game have like a story, like a beginning and an end, or what's the thing about it?
Yes, there actually is a story. You wake up in an abandoned lab next to a sort of broken like glass pod, and it's evidence you came from there. You get a phone call in an abandoned laboratory, and it tells you to steal some nuclear missiles. And for some reason, you just do it, and you gun down hundreds of enemies, and you find the nukes, and well, that's onward. It would be spoilers. But because the story isn't the main point in this game, it's more of like environmental storytelling, and you can find these labs and like bunkers from this mysterious faction from other levels. Some have like locked vault doors. There's like a keypad. You have to find the code for it. And that sheds a light on what exactly happened. Why are you doing this?
Yeah, how would like the game end? Does it have like endings, or is it just one ending?
It's just one ending.
The game looks like a very fast-paced game. Does it support like slower style gameplay, like there are people who get overwhelmed or something like that?
Yes, actually, there's some tactics involved here. So it's not like a movement shooter where you lose if you stop moving, basically, and jumping and gaining momentum. This is not that kind of game. There are different, lots of different weapons, actually, like 15 plus, and I made sure they're all different from each other. So there are like slower weapons that kill in one shot. There are faster weapons that are good for like assaulting, like going head on. The grenade work that if you're standing still, you throw it on your feet. If you're running, you throw it further away, and also your upward speed is accounted for in that. So you can do lots of tricks with those. And often like bounce the grenades off walls into enemies and they die.
Okay, thank you.
I can't remember if you said this already, but on what platforms are you planning on releasing this? Is it only on PC, or are you thinking about consoles or Steam Deck or something like that?
It's going to be only on Steam, but it will be on Steam Deck as well.
Thank you.
Any more questions? Great. Well, let's have a big hand to Finborg Games. Just a sec. Thank you. And next up, sorry. Next up, I have to check so I don't say wrong. Yes, we have Team RoboCreed with their game RoboCreed.
Okay, welcome to the Project RoboGrid pitch deck presentation brought to you by Team RoboGrid. RoboGrid is a turn-based puzzle merger game where your objective is to manage a robot on a depleting power supply. The robot will lose 1 energy per turn and will have to merge compatible components to manufacture new energy. The goal is to gather 100 units of energy to complete the level. Using the available components on the board, you must combine an empty battery and an energy piece to create a loaded battery. Then collect loaded batteries to gain power for the robot. All pieces have a limited lifespan, so time management is critical. If you fail to manage the life cycles of your pieces, the board turns against you. Unused energy dissipates, loaded batteries degrade to empty batteries, and worst of all, empty batteries become dead batteries or trash, blocking movement and providing 0 energy. This diagram illustrates the gameplay mechanics, showing how resources spawn and expire and how combining energy and empty batteries leads to loaded batteries, which power your player robot and advance you toward the level goal. Key features of gameplay include turn-based strategy, where you plan your route to maximize merges while minimizing the number of moves to collect new energy. Resource management requires balancing power needs with keeping the board clean. The first levels of the game are easier. On every level, you must gather 100 units of energy to power your exit to the next level. We are building on a proven foundation. Titles like Threes and 2048 proved just how universally loved the core merge mechanic can be, while Triple Down proved just how that adding strategy creates incredible long-term retention. We are taking the absolute best parts of these hits and giving them a fresh new spin. The project is developed by Team RoboGrid using Unreal Engine 5.7. It's planned for PC and mobile. The estimated price is somewhere around 2.5 euros and with an estimated release in 2026. Development is currently about 33% complete, with new audio and graphics being the next major milestones, followed by a tutorial mode. The team includes Celine Sami as the developer, with music by Warren and Matthias and additional music by Niskanen Panu. Thank you for your consideration. For more information about the game, please visit the provided link. Any questions?
You said that there is like infinite progression.
It's like infinite amount of play time, as long as you manage it.
Okay, so it's kind of like it's not, the levels are not handmade.
Yeah, no, I mean, the situation kind of carries over. In the beginning, the game helps you by clearing some of the trash, so it's easier to progress early on. But as you get further, the game stops giving you any help, and then it's completely up to you to strategize on your own. And the state from level to level sort of carries over.
So I saw the platform is the PC and mobile.
Yeah.
Are you planning to sell the game on both for the same price, or are you planning different model for the mobile?
Probably the same price, and we're I mentioned we're making it on Unreal Engine 5.7, which kind of turned out to be a huge mistake because it's such a simple game, and it underperforms. And I mean, what do we need like Unreal Engine for? So we're doing a complete port to Godot.
Yeah, it's not a, I would have said it, but it's not a question. So,
Yeah,
but yeah,
sure.
good choice. I agree. Cool, thank you.
Yes. Can you explain more about the turn-based gameplay? Like from the gameplay video, I didn't get that at all.
Okay, have you played 2048 ever?
Yes.
Right. So you know you can move in any direction,
Yes.
and you can go toward the pieces, or you can suck the pieces into you.
Mhm.
So the blue items are like the energy, and the gray are like the batteries. Though the graphics look like, I mean, a box is a robot if you say it's a box, right? But we're working on new graphics. So you just combine those pieces to create the green loaded batteries, and then you try to get them just like you would like try to get matches in 2048. Pretty similar tactic, if that answers the question.
So are you playing against someone?
You're playing against yourself.
Yourself.
How far you can get.
Okay.
You don't really have to care about if it's a robot or something else, but it's just, you know, there's no lore in the game.
Okay. Thank you.
Does any member from the audience have any questions? Yes.
Thank you. Hi, I have basically a two-part question. It's concerning about your engine of choice. You already mentioned that you're doing this on Unreal Engine 5.7,
Yeah.
and you mentioned that it's a huge mistake, but what was the reasoning of the engine joins in the beginning?
Because I'm from Rivere Outokumpu, and the entire education course started with Unreal Engine as our main you know, environment. But then we've taken on others like Unity and Godot, and at this point I'm like very excited about Godot, and I've noticed how fast it's to develop and how light the products become, and it's just perfect for a simple game like this.
Then the other part of the question is that you are launching on PC and mobile. Is that correct?
Presumably, yeah.
Presumably, okay. Then have you outweighed the cost benefits from developing on Godot or Unity against the Unreal Engine one?
Well, not really. I mean, I suppose each of those environments has the ability to export to any platform. So what's the difference?
Well, the difference is basically just how it translates to your game. Your game is of certain genre, and there probably was an idea that this might be okay to develop on Unreal, but are you still, you know, like looking at other engines, or do you settle for Godot?
No, I'm definitely settling for Godot. It's my new love.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone else have questions? No? Okay. Thank you so much, Team Robocrate and Robocrate.
Thanks.
So next up we have Team Lumina with their game Kindling.
What a nice Finnish grey spring day to go our dark, but a bit more colorful world. Lumina? Was it this button? Great. So yeah, Kindling is a 2D top-down puzzle adventure game where your main objective is to travel the world, the dark world, accompanied by a lantern, and you will find these pretty rocks called Kindles, and the main objective of the game is to bring them back to life by lighting them up with your lantern. The core mechanic, or the loop, of the game revolves around you exploring the world with your lantern. Here you can see it's orbiting light that you use to explore it. And also the light is the main form of solving the puzzles to advance further in the game. Then you will find the aforementioned Kindles, the pretty little rocks. Yeah, and by lighting them up, you will restore light back to the world, and we call it rekindling. You can call it whatever you want. And this will also upgrade your lantern's capabilities. So basically all the mechanics of the game revolve around the lantern that is following you. Here you can see like the normal form of it. It's just the orb of light around you. And when the orb of light hits a lightable object, it will transfer the light. And this is the like bread and butter of solving the puzzles themselves. And about the upgrades that you get by lighting up the world, the first one will be this coning ability that you will condense the light in a smaller place, and it will also extend its reach, and the lighting effect in the condensed area will be stronger. Then later you can condense it even more into a ray, and the reach will be even further and more intense in a narrower area. And yeah, basically this light of the lantern is your eyes and means forward in the game, meaning that it will light it up when you are traveling in the dark world. And here you can see you can reflect it on some surfaces. This will be a key part in some of the puzzles. And as mentioned, we have light, pun intended, like a little emphasis on combat mechanics as well, and there the light will be your weapon and also your health indicator. You will see more about it in the game when you play it, and there might be some espionage as well. You'll see. All right. Then we have a quick show of our timeline right now. Basically, we are there before the 4 months now. That is like now we are in the change of the month, and maybe the most relevant part here is that we have estimated that probably it would take us 4-ish months to develop a public demo build. This is kind of a prototype phase now, and then we have estimated that there could be a commercial product with a 1 year from now of full-time development. Yeah, and maybe 2-ish hours of gameplay. Yeah, I guess that's about it. We were very focused on the mechanics. We have a story why the world has gone in this dark as well. And yeah, but you are free to ask about it if you want. Cool. Thank you. This is exciting. Everybody's watching. Oh.
This is not a question. The only thing I wrote is I want to know more about the puzzles, but I guess I'll find out when I play the game.
You will. You will. We also try to we were very focused on the development that we teach kind of the mechanics or as organically as possible, that you will go there and it's about exploration and finding out the mechanics. Yeah.
Okay. I will make up a question.
Yeah. You don't have to.
I mean, what's going to surprise me about this game the most without going to spoilers?
Oh dear. What would surprise you? Oh, without going to spoilers? Oh no. Well, I would say that
You can tease without revealing.
Oh, you will see surprisingly bright, cool effects in the dark world, and it might get even a bit exciting. I was thinking about Moomin type of not horror, but a bit of tense situations when you are exploring in the dark, and there are some dark creatures there at some points. I don't spoil too much, but
thank you.
Yeah.
Well, just the usual. What kind of platform are you going for with this project?
Right now, this started as a portfolio project, so we have developed on Unity on PC.
Okay.
But we have from the beginning, I think we were thinking about how we would adapt, because at further in the game you will use the mouse, so how it would translate to controller. So I very much see that a console adaptation would be very possible. I don't know about mobile because it's like this, sideways, not I think mobile games benefit from this, and it's all about the environment exploration. But Yeah, it would probably need like some kind of like thinking about the design, how we would fit it there, or maybe just turn it around. I don't know, but.
So I know you mentioned it's like more a portfolio piece, but have you like done any like market research into puzzle games in general, or these kind of like Metroidvanias?
Yes, oh, Metroidvania, that's a good word, because actually we were first calling this like action adventure, then we realized that this is a puzzle adventure, so we have changed the genre, because like our first like inspiration was like 2D pixel art Zelda era kinda, and how like you basically control the progress of the game. Am I answering too long? Sorry. But how you control the progress of the game with the upgrades of the item that you use in it. What was the question?
So the question was basically if you have like looked into target audience.
Yeah. Basically, I think like the target audience would be somewhere like not very young children, but I think this could be like a whole family's game, as long as I don't know how much like little kids can stand horror nowadays. I remember my Moomin nightmares from my childhood, but as well, like it has the retro aesthetic of like Chrono Trigger pixel art style. That was our main, like for our artist, like the main source. But I would say like 2D Zelda with more focus on environment and puzzles than combat is something like of a market research. There was this game called Short Hike, but it was more of a platformer, and we have like 2 stages in the 2D. That will be like a puzzle mechanic, but
do you have any numbers like, let's say, how many copies you would expect to sell, or is the game going to be free?
We're not that far yet, because like the portfolio project we have developed after it, and we have gotten more ambitious because the last pre-bit was so inspiring as well. But I would say that like this is just out of the hat. I think that we would need to do more market research, but it shouldn't be too expensive for 2 hours of gameplay. So maybe like €5-ish to 10. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Sorry for babbling. I'm not taking too much time.
You are not. Don't worry. So does any audience members have any questions?
Oh.
Yes.
That's great.
Sorry about that.
It also makes us think about the things that we have a conversation after, so it's great.
Conversation piece for you
about
the art style.
Yep.
My question is about the art style. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah,
Now I can. Now I can.
It's a little loud.
Yeah.
What was the direction or the design choice that you made when considering the light gameplay? Where did it come up?
That was the starting point. Actually, one of our developers, Lauri there, he kind of told me about the idea like during our ride home from school about like the light being the core mechanic and a lantern following the player. And then when we started like developing the game itself, we just started to like think about how the light will be forming. So basically all the mechanics have come from how it would be intuitive for a light to shape and how it would work in an environment. And then the pixel art was kind of like, well, first we were thinking that it's an like easier way to produce graphics, but in the end it was very like you had to learn about it. Our artist was a painter originally, but he did such good work. Like it's crazy how nice it looks. But
definitely, did you research for any kind of other games that use light as like a gameplay element?
Yeah, I think like the biggest like aesthetical inspiration from that point are like these Hollow Knight type of games, like the kind of retro feel 2D games with light and dark. But here it's more of a mechanic as well. But I think like aesthetically that was a big like inspiration, for example.
One more question.
Yeah, great. I love it.
Was the puzzles design choice, or was it like the beginning of things that you know that you're going to do a puzzle game?
Yes, it was like
the starting point.
Yeah, I would say like we had kind of more thinking about like combat as well in the beginning, but the puzzle was the bread and butter. We have leaned more towards the puzzles themselves. Like, yeah. Thank you for the great questions.
Thank you. Does anyone else have anything to ask? No? Okay. Then I guess we will move on to the next theme, which is unknown operations. Oh, sorry. Yes, we can. We can. Next up, we have Unknown Operation with their game Terderia. little mic check. Works. So, hello everyone. My name is Nea Pulkkinen, and I'm here to introduce you to the wonderful world of Terderia. Terderia is a choose-your-own adventure fantasy card RPG with deck-building opportunities and roguelite elements. The primary platform is PC, but with enough demand and success, we could consider porting this to mobile and Steam Deck, for example. For now, distribution happens mainly on Steam. The base game length is 4 hours, but 20 if you want to see all the content that includes 5 different maps and dozens of events. The story goes that God of Trickery split your spellbook into individual cards. You want to fix your spellbook, and therefore you must gather all the cards back. You get these cards as rewards for solving events that are different and very varied. The gameplay is turn-based. You pick a card from the deck of cards you already found and play it. Simple as that. The references for this game are Slay the Spire, Inscription, and Diceomancer, all card games with high rates on Steam. But of course, we've looked into many other games as well, some of which you can see on the bottom, so we know where we stand on the market. However, what sets us apart from those card games is that we have 4 different card types: weapon, utility, spell, and speech cards that you can use on any event. Usually card games only have 2 types of cards, offensive and defensive, and the gameplay can feel a little monotone as you can always predict the outcome. With our cards, every outcome is unique, and you can use these on yourself, on items, or on others if you wanted to, which is great, because not all of our events are hostile, so you could try talk your way out of a situation if you wanted to. The choices you can make are only limited by your current deck. And as you make a choice, the story changes a little every time. So every playthrough is unique, a story crafted by you. Now, we've tested this game a lot, especially on our target group of casual RPG enjoyers, indie game lovers, and 15 to 29-year-olds with witty humor, and they have seemed to love this, and well, so does our team. I'm the lead designer and artist for this project. Vera, who is soon helping me with the questions, is our programmer. Pentti has written some of our cards, Marius does all of our music and sound effects, and we really want to publish this game. And for that, we are looking for a business mentor to help where our skills are simply not enough. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm Vera. I'll be helping out with some of the more technical questions that we may get.
Non-technical question, how many endings do you have?
Yeah, for now, we have only a part of the first map done, so it's kind of really open-ended. We plan to have like a set ending for, like, not set ending, but the ending for each map is determined by how you beat the boss of that map.
Yes, and the whole story has an ending that is always the same, but how you get there is different.
Like vibe-based question, how would you summarize like the feeling of the game in a couple of words?
I would say somewhat inspirational. Like you want to search for the cards, but there's this lingering darkness to it, as you can see, because of you have gods mixed. There's the God of Trickery that split your spell book. So the starting point is a little negative maybe, but it drives the player forward as they maybe want to revenge for the God of Trickery at first, but then they realize different things as they go along, and it becomes more inspirational.
You have like 5 genres in the games, like roguelike, choose your own adventure.
Yes, it's choose your own adventure with deck building opportunities and roguelite elements. So you could build your deck if that's more of your thing, but it's in the core, it's always choose your own adventure.
So I don't need to build my deck. I can just enjoy the choose your own adventure.
Yes, you can. But if you want to play this more strategically, you could choose what cards you like put on your deck and play according to that.
Yeah, and deciding what cards you might bring. You might want to pick out more like combat cards or speech cards, depending on the type of gameplay you want. If you want to fight the encounters you get on the map, you might pick the weapon cards and so on.
Can I lose in the game?
Well, yes, you can die. So that's a losing point, technically.
Yeah, so losing all of your hearts will like end your run, and you'll have to start another run if you want to keep playing. And you can only progress to the next map once you've completed the previous one.
So I saw that there's 4 card types, and at least from the trailer, it felt like to me that each card type with like subtype, I don't know, there was like the utility rope or whatever else you have. It felt like to me that each card would have like a unique result. Is that feeling correct?
That is correct.
So how many cards do you have?
We currently have 37 on the demo.
So that would mean that every encounter I have 37 choices that encounter could go, or?
That's technically the case, yes. But with some of the more similar cards as well have like strong fire spells, for example, might all lead to the same strong fire spell like outcome for the event. So it reduces our workload while keeping it most of the uniqueness.
So I saw that like you're looking for a business mentor, but have you given any thought about like, let's say the price? Because from what I saw, you have 20 hours of content. If I like wanna see everything, right? The average playthrough time is 4 hours, I believe.
Yes, so we're considering 15 euros as the price point, and then you can buy new card packs, for example, as DLCs that we could bundle up in Steam.
And what other game should I enjoy so I enjoy your game? I saw the references like Slay the Spire, for example, but that's like, I don't think if just because I like Slay the Spire, I would like this game. So it's like a real reference game that like, I like this game, therefore I will like your game.
Probably Diceomancer. It's not as popular as Slay the Spire, but the vibes are the same. It's very similar, but there is no currently a game where there are different card types. You can always just attack or defend. So that's where our game differs a little. So there's not exact reference for this.
And I'd also like to mention Slay the Princess, as beating the game gives you more dialogue options to progress like through the maps next time. So for example, if you go through the first map again after you've like collected more cards, you gain new dialogue options basically for the events.
So there's like meta progression?
Yes, that's the roguelite elements for the game, because you can bring like cards you've unlocked from later maps into the earlier maps.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Turi. Does any of the audience have any questions? I can always count on you. Almost already waiting for you.
Thank you. I only have one question, which is related to the trailer. There was this ring, which was very prominent in the screen. I took my notice on the cards, that was cool, and the art was cool on the seed itself. But what was the significance of the ring? That I probably missed that in the trailer.
That's the self cycle. So you could use cards on yourself on events like you want to escape, so you play the run card on yourself, or maybe you try confusing the enemy, so you could try maybe like a frying pan on yourself, like maybe do tricks with it, and maybe the enemy's like, wait, hold on, what are you doing? And that's how the event process goes forward.
So the ring is basically a representation of yourself, your avatar.
Yes, that's kind of, you can cast a spell on yourself.
Got it, thank you.
I'm curious if the game is it like a permadeath, like or can you save in the game, or is it are there save spots, or is it like auto save?
Yeah, we've planned to, like, we haven't started with the save system yet, but so far we've thought that saving should mostly happen outside of like runs. So once you either lose or complete a run, you get to save. But we haven't like finalized that decision yet.
So if there's like no manual saving, how long do you expect like one run to last then? Like would it get kind of exhausting for the player if they have to play for like a long time before it saves?
Well, it depends on the player's style of how they play, but it's usually 3 minutes per the event. So you could try, if your PC stops and you're like, damn it, and you go back, then you have to only repeat the 3 minutes.
Okay, cool, thanks.
Any more questions? No? Thank you. Unknown Operations with their game Terderia. And next up, we have Team Dappal with their game My Tennis Apocalypse.
So, hello everyone, my name is Alex and I will be presenting the project we've been working on, My Tennis Apocalypse. We believe that tennis games have still great potential that has been untapped for quite a while. Still, most of the tennis games nowadays are either way too complicated simulator games or way too simple, just smaller games. We aim to bring the tennis as a genre to the wider audience by adding flair and making it a spectacle. To do that, we combine tennis with explosions. So, My Tennis Apocalypse is an action roguelite tennis game where instead of a traditional ball, you play with an explosive one. There are no points and the last one standing wins the match. Intuitive controls has been very important to us because we just want everyone to be able to play the game straight away. But the thing that actually, let's go back. Yep, here. So the thing that actually brings depth into the gameplay are the randomized power-ups that you get each run. By combining all sorts of different abilities, active and passive alike, you can put a pressure on the opponent in a way that's not quite seen in tennis games nowadays. So essentially the core of the game loop is that you play these deadly tennis matches, get rewards by winning them. Then you go into the overworld area to explore, talk with the NPCs or visit shops, and then you select your opponent from a procedurally generated ladder. We are trying to appeal to players who enjoy games like Binding of Isaac on PC for their roguelike mechanics, but also might dabble in some sports titles with their friends like Lethal League or Windjammers. Also, we are taking inspiration from older PS games to add a bit of nostalgic flair to the mix. What actually makes this game stand out in the current market is that it's a familiar game packaged in a new form and with a twist, making it easier for new players to just buy the game and start playing it. We are focusing on actually making a single player mode first sport title, and that differentiates ourselves from most of the other PC games on the sports category. And compared to those competitors that we actually have, our price point will be reasonably modest. Currently, we are a team of 2 developers working on this project. We have been working on various smaller titles for the past 2 years, but we have known each other for a lot longer than that. We have developed quite a complementary skill set, and everything I like, she hates, and vice versa, so that just works out great. Come on, 1 minute. Okay, so where are we at? Currently, we have almost everything on the base level completed, and we can start adding new content to the game very soon, like new characters, maps, and levels. We're planning on launching the game in early 2027, but before that, participating in the early Steam Next Fest, but possibly early access, even depending on the feedback that we get. If that sounds interesting, then please go wishlist the game. It's available on Steam now, and I thank you.
Yes, it seems like single player game, but have you been thinking about like multiplayer somehow?
We have a local multiplayer implemented in the past week, so it's there. We are tired, but it's there.
Excellent.
That was also my question.
But yeah, we're focusing on making a single player mode first, but during the single player game, you get stuff to the multiplayer that we can then build on top of that. So yeah.
So I saw that you said the price point would be low. So what kind of amount should I imagine more precisely?
Yeah, we went pretty quick. It was from the first page, but we are looking at 13 euros approximately, so 12.99.
Okay. How long has the Steam store page been up, and how many wish lists do you have?
It's been up for probably a week at this point, and we have around 130, I guess. We've been pretty focused on making the build, actually polishing it and stuff like that, so the marketing has been.
Okay. Cool. No more questions. Thank you. From me, at least.
Yeah, I just want to test how it feels like to play the game, so I don't think that's a question. Just looking forward to play testing for everyone's games.
I think it feels good. I hope.
Thank you, jury. Does any of the audience have any questions? Yeah. Thank you. I was counting on you. No, I'm not.
You maybe mentioned this before in the beginning, but your platform, I mean, your developing platform, what is it?
We're making the game on Godot, and it will be launching on Steam.
Yeah. Then two-part question. Your target audience and reference games you mentioned, but any competitors?
Well, we have the Mario tennis-sized elephant in the room, but it's very like, it feels kind of pointless to compare ourselves to a very big player. So we are focusing on just like capturing the niche of smaller sports games, but those are like the vibes that we're looking for, like the games that I showed here. But yeah, we have done some market research, and the smaller like sports and roguelike is a term that's not very often seen in games, actually. When you start searching them, there are like none, like free on Steam. And those games have done reasonably well. Like they sell around few thousand copies and like earning around 100,000 euros. So those are like the main targets that we're aiming for.
Based on your current wish list numbers, do you feel like you actually found a niche, or would there be actually some sort of gap in there why the games haven't been, done the way that you have done it right now?
Well, sports games are actually quite difficult to make because they're so precise. So we have found that out the hard way. But the funny thing that we started actually doing some marketing before we even had the Steam page, and we managed to get like one post where there were 50,000 impressions. So the explosions and tennis is just kind of a fun combination. People like that.
So there is a punchable niche.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
You mentioned that it's a single player and local PvP game, but would you consider an online version, or is that not in the plans?
Well, let's define online. If you want to play with your friends, like on other computers, the Steam actually has the, like, what's it called? Yeah, remote play. So it allows you to play with your friends through a kind of local setup. So this game is playable, possibly. That's what we are aiming for. But actually making it online, adding like competitive mode and stuff like that is just way beyond our reach at this point because we're a team of 2 developers. So yeah, I would like to keep my hair still on my head.
So does the game where the explosion part come into the mix, as in it's like a hot potato with the bomb and you hit the ball back and forth?
Exactly, like a hot potato. So the ball explodes when it bounces twice on the ground. So it's kind of a regular tennis rules, but we added the fence over so the explosion stays on the court.
And is there like a overarching lore to this, or?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes. Everything in the like visual design and stuff like that, the tower and the things, we have a lore behind it, but my teammates looking at me, so I won't be revealing too much anymore.
Yeah, quick question about references or other games. Like it feels like kind of like crazy sports games or sports games with kind of weird flavor, like Water Golf or even Blood Bowl comes to mind. Have you like researched that kind of markets?
Yeah, we have actually like looked into those games there. It's kind of difficult to actually compare to those types of games because they can feel very different to actually play. So we have, like I said, the main target points were the roguelike sports titles that we had. So they have like crazy mechanics and stuff like that. So yeah, there are tons of, like, we have found out when I've done like a couple of pitches that in the audience there's always a new game that people are like, hey, I played this in like the 60s and it was amazing and stuff like that. So yeah, there are like tons of these types of games, but yeah, we're constantly searching for more.
Any more questions, anyone? Thank you. Well, big hand to Team Dappal and my tennis apocalypse. We just had 8 teams pitching. I'm very, very proud of all of you. It was very interesting to hear. I've seen, of course, these core loops myself many times, but it's very nice always to hear more. Now it's time to test the games. We are actually almost like in a schedule, I think. Yes, well, just a little bit over schedule, but it doesn't really matter. We have time to test games until I think about 3 o'clock. Then we will have amazing Michael Hudson to have a speech here. So don't forget about that. Michael, do you want to actually say a couple of words more? You'll be talking a lot. No. Okay, maybe later then. You'll be talking here a lot. So yes. So this is the map. So I'm here on stage. So this room is the one over there. And that room is the one over there. So you can actually see where each game is and find the one you want to try out. Please remember that we have jury. They have a tight schedule, so they will test the games like kind of like first. So if you see a jury member in the game station, just leave them alone and just play other games while they are testing. But otherwise, have fun. Feel free to test all the games. Remember to give feedback to all the teams. There are those QR codes. Once you've tested all the games, you can, of course, vote for your favorite game. Those QR codes are around here, and actually, we will also show it here. But if you don't see this and the screen is dead or something, then there's those paper versions here. But for now, I will put the map. What about one more big hand for all the teams pitching? We have amazing Michael Hudson here. So, woo! Sorry, we are a bit late on the schedule, but I hope we will catch it on, so this event won't be like super late. And now finally, well, I guess for further ado, Michael Hudson. Woo!
Thank you so much. All right, cue the trailer.
So, hey, Annie, you got any odds on this suit just straight up electrocuting me the second I start charging it?
Oh, super low. I doubled up on the duct tape and everything. Seriously, Cass, you're fine. Just get your butt to the gravity core activator.
Okay, I'm in. I'm just your science experiment, aren't I?
Cass, how can you say that? You know you're my science experiment friend. Now get ready. Here it comes.
Whoa.
It worked. I can't believe it worked.
Am I dead?
Hell no. You're ready to rock that thing.
Thank you. So that was my trailer for you guys. And adapt, improvise, and overcome is my message to you today. Can you guys hear me, by the way? Okay, yeah. Sorry about my voice. It's not usually as raspy, but it's allergy season, and yeah, it really gets to me. So bear with me. Also, I'm not going to speak very long, but I hope you get whatever I'm about to say through this short presentation. By the way, at any time, let's keep this free form. You can ask anything about the trailer, anything about my personal experience as an indie developer. So if you have questions, just shoot up your hands. I'm all about questions. You know that already. So yeah. So adapt, improvise, and overcome. You probably heard this term coming from Bear Grylls. They probably made that famous back in the days. But I think that pretty much sums it up as you are an indie developer in any case, because you are going to face these things whenever you go out there. You need to adapt to changes of the industry, adapt to changes in your team, and you need to improvise with whatever you have. And to overcome those challenges, you need to face with something and come up with something that no one has ever come up before, and find your niche, basically. Find your slot in life. And as mentioned, I'm Michael Hudson. I've been in 20 years in the industry, film industry about 5 years. During that time, I've seen all kinds of things happen during that time. Tools change, the industry pipeline changed from analog to digital to AI, all of that. Every day there's a new tool coming up, people are using that. Every day there's a new system that people want to use, and the improvisation or the innovations coming from that, that's the core or the key point where you are the indie developer. Because if you take a look at any larger companies, they are, let's take an analog from large ships back in the days when they're, men were just fighting from their lives, just being alive in a ship. Large 18th century ships, those are hard to turn. But when the pirates came in, they came in with the small sloop vessels. They were just dancing around that. Those are indie developers. Those are the ones that you guys are when you go into the industry. You're basically nimbler, much more agile. You adapt to change. You hear people when the people talk. Pirates listen to people talk. That's why they knew where to hit. So your people are the community that you cater to, the players themselves. So tap more into that, because that is your definite PowerPoint. The larger companies, they have shareholders on their back. They have large container systems. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's beautiful being in a security position in a large company. Yeah, I've been in there too. I've been in both sides of the coin. It's a beautiful place. But when you want something to happen fast, that doesn't happen in a large company. That happens when you're an indie developer working at your own innovation project. So just tap into that. Listen to the people, what they want, and listen to yourself also, what you want to do, and find the sort of the golden standard between those two. Because when you're working on something that's innovative for you, you don't find it as work. You just do whatever, and you enjoy doing it. It's not work. You don't work when you like what you're doing. That's, people have said that all throughout the world, but that's true. When you're indie developer, just find it in your heart to do the things that you want to do. And to quote Disney, build it and they will come. That's true for indie developer. If you find your cool thing, people definitely will carry that to that. If it's good for you, it's good for probably someone else, and they want to play that. So just do that. Cater to that. Okay, a little bit more about myself. What do I love? Well, of course, I love my wife, yeah. But then I love skiffy and adventure films, playing games, playing drums. I actually flew a plane once. Yeah, that's a true story. But that was more on my bucket list. But that was fun fun thing to do. But even if I wouldn't done that, I'm probably crazy, like driving a Formula One car. But the point is that I couldn't do that if I was not an indie developer, because those things that I did there enabled me to get all my stuff together so that I could actually fulfill my bucket list. Don't get me wrong, indie developer, it is a rocky road, but when it hits you good enough, you can do whatever. You know, you're not bogged down by anything. So it can be glorious at times. But also, as mentioned, it's quite rocky. Where did I start? Well, I started at somewhere around 16 when I got my first computer. That was way back in the day when the computers were, well, basically just text on the large screen. There was nothing else except for a prompt. You just type whatever you want to do. That was back in the DOS day. So many people don't even know what I'm talking about, but look it up online. Yeah, that's a thing. Computers work that way then. There was no actual graphical user interface. So I'm that old, definitely, yes. So yeah, what happened then is I just started craving for those kind of programs that were graphical. I'm an artist, by the way. I'm not a coder, but definitely I found them, and I also found my kind of my life from that, making some kind of visual cues that are interactable. Hence, games. What more is interactable than the graphics that you create? Then you just play with them, do whatever you want with them. Yeah, definitely games were my thing. But I didn't land a game job until 2004. That was my first thing. That company was actually half games company, half visual effects company. Well, I ended up doing both there. But also, at that time, I had to come up a way to build those 1800s ship, a fully actually functional ship that handles the waves, handles the wind, all that. That was asked of me. I just created a few polygons at the time. I didn't know how that ship would function. I wasn't live that time, but still the developers asked artists to perform this way. That was my first introduction to indie development. But it worked out. We made a demo out of that, and that kind of landed me a role when I could actually move forward much more better. And the next game that I did was an MMO game. Again, I had to do something I had never done before. I had to come up with a way to figure out how to Formula One drives. Still haven't driven anything. Fastest thing I've drove that back then was my bike. And then I had to figure out how to move with the car. Well, okay, that worked also. But then, even if those indie projects back then didn't work out, that gave me something to work with. I had a tool belt, basically, now, from the systems that I created, or systems that I helped create. I could take that to a next level, and I always carried around that with me. Those two companies were indie companies, and even though the next company that I went into was also, at the beginning, an indie company, and it stayed that way for quite a while, it was a mobile game company, but right now, today, is one of the largest companies in Finland, and it's still continuing to adapt, improvise, and overcome today. You probably heard it by other name. It's called pivoting. Large companies like to title these obvious things to behind one acronym. Well, this time it's pivoting. But if that pivoting wouldn't exist, that company definitely wouldn't be alive today. It basically went from near bankruptcy to pivoting into something that catered to other companies. A single company couldn't do that unless they had an indie developer mindset onto themselves. So they had to become something, they had to find their niche, but they didn't find it in games. They found it in systems and on helping one another, helping the game companies grow. That's one niche. That's one thing that you can do also as an indie developer. You can help other people, other companies strive forward. You probably know what company I'm talking about. I'm not going to say it out loud here, but look up these companies in Finland. There isn't many of them, but those ones who come up prominent still do the right indie development mindset every time, every day, today. So, something to think about for you guys. How to move forward if things look grim. All right. So what made me come up here? I don't know. I guess I turned right couple of times too much. I don't know. I went to Aalto at 18, did my master's degree there. But how do I got there was a bit of a curiosity. I didn't know what I was doing when I was going to Aalto. I just wanted to get something to the players, or basically the clients, so that I could pitch something. I found curiosity from characters, so that was my in for Aalto, and I did a research on that. I ended up creating so much tool nudges for myself that I could actually make it into a master's thesis, and the master's thesis got me into other business because I had a system to sell, and I packaged that up. But I did a couple of mishaps in between. I founded a company first, Mindhaven, with my couple of my friends from school. Yeah, that didn't go out very well, but you saw the Sky Beneath there. It's still on Steam. You can go play it. We tend to keep the Steam demo there as much as we can, as long as we can. But that's a reminder for us that not to go that big that fast. We had a discussion earlier with some of the people here that people in games usually in Finland, they tend to go too big too fast. They don't want to stay indie that long. Why? I mean, there's nothing wrong by being an indie. Don't chase something that isn't ready for you. Basically, you're not ready for something that comes too fast. I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong. Again, there's beautiful stories to be had when people have hit the 8-ball right then on the corner and took it at the park. Yeah, those things happen, but don't get cocky. I mean, we're also seeing those people come down very fast. You don't want to do that. Just stay the course. You know the system. Don't alter it too much. Just keep calm, level head. That's what gets you to the day. That's what wins you the actual prizes that you want to go for. But then, even if that company, the Mindhaven, didn't pan out, we founded another company. I don't know if it's a good one, but we funded another round. The company is called actually Another Round. Yes, pun intended. And the future of that company is uncertain. We didn't find any money to it, so it's a freeware company. We just launched a game, and we just hope that it works. It's that jump game that's over there. But that's not everything that we did. I founded another company on the side of that because I had those notches in my tool belt from those systems that I built before. And I started selling those systems based on a fact that I found out that in Unreal Engine, I'm not catering for Unreal Engine right now. That's just a tool that I work with. That's another point when being a indie developer. You can take any tool. I mean, any tool, whether it's your own, whether it's a company package tool, and just use that for own advantage. My tool of choice was Unreal Engine. I took that and I put all those systems into the Unreal Engine because as an artist, I can't code for it. So I just added all those systems in there and started demoing those out, basically dishing those out in the other companies. And that worked. That worked for me. You can see the logo over here. The MHD is still up and running, ongoing. I still sell those same products to every company that I can come up with. And we're actually, over here, there's a guy who owns a platform. We are planning to sell those systems in that platform as well. You can do even that. So as you're an indie developer, you're not bogged down with anything else than your own mind, your own intuitive mind. Just use it. That's your best leverage in life. All right, I'm gonna start to lose my voice here, but as a last note here, everything great is on the other side of fear. You probably heard this before. I'm paraphrasing Mark Twain here, just to throw up a few names. He probably said it more eloquently. You can read the books, his biography, but that's true. You are probably scared out of your wits when you come up here showing your beautiful creations, which are raw in your opinion. But in the end, when you finalize them, when you really put your heart and mind into it, when it's a final product, it's a good one. And then you're overcome to your fear. and someone will say thank you and hand you over a trophy and let you come up here or in a larger arena and people applaud for you. But that's your life work then. Just, think about what you can do in those frames that you have. And don't get bogged down of any hardships, any fear of whatever. Rocky roads are going to be ahead, but it's not the end of life. Just take the next step. Stay the course. All right. I guess we can end it here just by saying that just stay the course. You will prevail at the end. This is a beautiful time when you are indie developer. Trust the process and just keep developing. And good luck with the competition here. And we'll see you out there. Thank you. Thank you for the valuable time.
Thank you so much, Michael. You survived. Now don't talk with anyone anymore. Thank you so much, and thank you all for attending Michael's talk. Now we still have some time before the jury is ready. So if you still have any games you want to test, feel free. Also, remember those feedback QR codes in Teams table, and most importantly, remember to vote your favorite game. Yes. Hello again. It's been a long and very funny day. I hope fun day. I hope you all agree. Have you had any fun? Yeah. The jury is here, so we will announce many things. Audience choice. There are some special mentions and the official winner of Bit1 2026. I think we will start with the audience choice. And can we have a drum roll? And the audience choice winner is Dappal with their game My Tennis Apocalypse. Dappal, do you want to say something, some words, or? Yeah, so obviously audience loved your game. I guess I will now give the mic to you. So.
Okay, thank you for waiting. And also thank you, most importantly, for letting us play your games. They were really fun to play test. We're always happy to see people developing games and doing creative things. So that is important in this world. We did some judging. We had a criteria. I don't know if it has been shared, but we are rating every single game with their commercial potential, with their technical execution, including like tech and art and other aspects of the gameplay itself, and then about uniqueness, like how does it stand out against competition and in the commercial landscape in general. Each game has been given a score. We also have feedback forms that hopefully have understandable enough text. We can go through like with each team to like give the same feedback verbally after the winner has been announced, so that you get something actionable, hopefully, to the development of the game. We have a winner that I'm not going to tell yet. We have two special mentions that we want to highlight from the games. So first of all, we want to give a special mention to the best trailer. It's something that got us really curious about the game. It got us quite excited as well. Just wanting to figure out like, okay, how does this play? Does it feel as good as it is looking in the marketing material? And the best trailer that got us excited goes to it goes to Blood Red Rebirth. I think it was the combination of the music and the action-packed trailer. It looked great and it got us excited. So good job on the trailer. We have another special mention that we want to highlight. It's about the most curiosity-evoking story. Yeah, we were discussing about the story aspects of this game a lot. All of us kind of agreed, it's like okay, we really kind of want to see this game in the wild, seeing if it lives up to its potential, everything that we imagine the story could be. We really hope that it gets there in the final product. And that special mention goes to Terderia. And now for the winner. The winner obviously got the highest score in commercial potential, technical execution and quality, and uniqueness when the scores got combined and totaled together. The reasoning for the winner is that it is in its demo state a really polished game. It has an interesting idea. Of course, it still needs some work to make the gameplay feel really, really good. But overall, we really enjoyed testing the game, and we hope to see it in the stores in the future. And the winner is louder. Okay, the winner is My Tennis Apocalypse. Now you need to say something.
Yeah. I guess I have to come in front for this one. So yeah, thank you for this amazing experience. I've really enjoyed meeting all of you people. This has been very fun, and yeah, we put a lot of effort into the game, and I'm glad it shows on your faces. Yeah, thank you. I don't know.
Yeah, and thank you so much for all the other games we saw here today. There were some really cool experiences here. Thank you so much for coming here as well.
Yeah, please go wishlist it. We need it.
So we have all of your feedback forms that we can go through like team by team. We will find your desks and your demo spots. I hope that someone is there to receive the feedback, and we're gonna like just go through a couple of things and share a couple of notes from the judges that are hopefully helpful for the future. But yeah, thank you from us. We had a great time playing the games. Hopefully you had a fun time as well. And I'm going to stop talking, give the microphone back to you. Thank you.
Thank you also on me and Suvi's behalf. It's been a very fun day. It's been super valuable to us and amazing to meet all of you and see your games. I hope you all had a fun day. Sorry we were a bit late, but I hope you got enough time to test probably all the games and networks. So great. So yeah, Salla already said that they will go through you or give the feedback forms. I'm gonna take pictures of those before you do, just for recording stuff. So Suvi, do you have anything to add? Couple of words from you.
Yeah, also thank you from my side. Thank you also to Jan. I wouldn't have been able to do this without you once again. Jan has been amazing. Congratulations to you. You will get, I'll tell you the details after this, but you will get an invitation to the Finnish Game Awards Gala and get your actual prize there on the stage. So that's going to be cool. some people here in the audience actually have experienced that before. So yeah, and it was cool. But yes, hey, thank you everybody. This has been amazing. This is always a lovely event. I think all the games here are like, I'm really proud of all of them. It's amazing to see how the games are better and better every year, really. I can't wait to see the next year. Also, you are welcome to join. Also, if you are students still next year, you can come back. You can come back with the same game or a new game. You are totally welcome to do that. We appreciate seeing the same people again. Has happened before. I hope it will happen again. But yeah, hey, thank you everybody. And at least from my side, thank you for the event and see you next time.